Okay, I think I'm back in the portal. You understand me? It feel like I'm back in the portal. You hear me? Let me see if I'm in the portal or not. You understand me? Let's go. Let's jump in. Let's go.
I wish I had some real folk in the house tonight.
I'm back in the portal, man.
Who say I don't always feel like lifting my hands.
Let's go.
I want to teach you a real simple song tonight. My brother Elder Eugene Brown's gonna sing it for us. Simply says, we are the sacrifice of praise. A simple song. Come on.
What it up?
We offer the sacrifice of praise.
Say it one more time, man.
We offer the sacrifice of praise. We offer the sacrifice of praise. Say it together, come on. We offer the sacrifice of
Let's go.
when the song is
Welcome to the portal.
the sacrifice of praise. With one accord. We offer as kings and priests. We offer
Okay. I am back in the portal again. You understand me? Yeah. First off, gotta give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the true name of the living God of Israel. His name means he who exists. Okay? Yahweh Shah is the true name of the one that everyone ignorantly called Jesus. Reason is because the letter J was created in 1524. The Bible, which is the correct and proper holy book, was created, well, it's way older than 1524, so we know his name couldn't have been Jesus, and the proper way that you say it is Yahweh Shai, and it means he who saves in the ancient language, which is the Paleo Hebrew. Okay, Rakakwadash is the proper way that you say Holy Spirit in the ancient language, which is the Paleo Hebrew, and Bahashem is the proper way that you say in the name in the ancient language, which is the Paleo Hebrew. Second and foremost, I have to pay homage to all the great men who came before me, right, in your previous lifetimes, through and during the reincarnation process. All of the great kings, prophets, seers, and priests, right, who came before me doing the same thing that I am currently doing for you today in your modern day lifetime, and that is giving you this game. Yeah, man, I'm back in the motherfucking portal again. Yeah, you feel me? Today, you know, I'm officially at 14 days without nicotine. You know, yesterday was the 4th of July. You know, to America, that means so much. You know, it's special. You know, it represents, you know, for the Americans, you know, not so much as the others that's currently here in America, right? Such as the Israelites that are here, but I'm talking about the Caucasian Americans. You know, for them it represents freedom, right? But as I you know, partook, you know, in the affairs, you know, because I am in America, right? In the affairs, right? Of 4th of July last night, I sat back and I posted up by Family Dollar over here in Duncanville, and it was most people in this area. That's where they come, you know, to really watch the fireworks, you know, as they go off, right? And I remember sitting there, and I remember watching the fireworks go off, and you know, it was a symbol of, you know, kind of somewhat of my freedom, right? the sacrifices that I previously just had made, right? And you know, man, it meant something, you know, on that type of level right there, right? But that's what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about sacrifices, right? Because in order for you to get something from God, right, you got to give up something. You know, and it can't be nothing, you know, mediocre. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, you know, they aim for that. You know, they try to pull a Cain off, right? But you got to be humble and have the spirit of Abel, right? Come with your first fruits. You understand me? And your first fruits might be, you know, that toughest thing that it might be for you in your natural self, your carnal self, for you to actually just give up. With a carnal man, he wouldn't want to give it up so quick. Right? I hope I'm making sense out there. But this, you know, I mean, my lessons really are for men. If you're a female and you watching and you tuned in, I mean, you ain't no different either. You still got to sacrifice. You know, but I'm really tuning my lesson in for the men, right? Because our sacrifices, you know, they weigh more. They weigh a whole lot more. And I want to get this next video right quick, this next clip, right? Because you got a lot of us that's out here today that are, you know, we're age-wise and on paperwork, we're grown. But mentality and spiritually, we still little boys, right? We haven't matured, okay? A lot of us are still doing things that we were doing in our adolescence, right? And I want to play this video right quick, right? Because this is all dealing with the rites of passage, man. Like, you know, and a lot of us, you know, Most High putting us on our rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? Me, maturing us, you know, mentally, spiritually, physically, right? That's why we going through what we go through, you know. But I want to play this clip one time, and let's get it. Play this brother right quick.
What's up?
And I advise you guys out there, I advise you guys out there to go and subscribe to his channel, Better Man Advice. Very informative, very much needed, especially in this time. Very much needed, especially in this time. So we're gonna let him give us some good game right quick, right? Let the game go ahead and bless us, right? Let's go ahead and get it.
A man is not born, he's made. The first lie is that most men think they become men by getting older. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You didn't become a man because you turned 18. You didn't become a man because you can grow a beard. You didn't become a man because you slept with a woman, paid your rent, got a job, or you learned how to look calm, meanwhile your life's falling apart. All those things can happen around manhood, but it isn't manhood itself.
Right.
Because manhood is not given to you, it is made. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the sacred journey that every boy must go through to become a man, to make himself a man. There's a book called Manhood in the Making by anthropologist David Gilmour. No, not that David Gilmour. And the central idea is brutal, but true. Across cultures, manhood is not treated as something that a male automatically possesses. It's treated like something he has to earn. A boy becomes male through biology, but a man becomes a man through ordeal and through initiation, through pressure, through responsibility, through the tribe looking at him and saying, can you provide? Can you protect? Can you control yourself? Can you face danger? Can you sacrifice pleasure? Can you carry the weight of the world without collapsing into resentment? That has always been the question. Not how do you feel today, not are you being validated, not possessed by the idea that people should be grateful for the things that you've done. The question was, can this man be trusted with burden? Because that is what manhood has always historically being. The boy wants comfort, a man accepts burden. A boy wants a woman to make him feel powerful. A man becomes powerful and lets the woman respond to it. A boy asks, does she still love me? A man asks, am I still living in alignment with my own standards and values? That is the difference. And that is why so many men in 2026 and beyond are suffering right now. Not because life is too hard, but because life became soft in all the wrong places. Men have more access to pleasure than ever. Porn, alcohol, video games, weed, social media, dating apps, cheap attention, cheap sex, and endless stimulation. But they have less access than ever to initiation, less brotherhood, less challenge, less physical consequences, less meaningful responsibility, less direct confrontation with reality. So the male body matures, but the masculine soul and spirit stays as adolescent. And then that adolescent soul walks into relationships, wanting a woman to become his mother, his therapist, his mirror, his validation, his purpose, and his salvation. And then he wonders why she has lost respect for him. And this is where a lot of men get confused and are still confused. They think women lose attraction because they're just inherently cruel, evil beings. But that's not true, my brothers. Women lose attraction when they feel that the man has abandoned the burden of himself. They can feel it when his nervous system is begging. They can feel it when his identity depends on her mood. They can feel it when he's negotiating from a place of fear. They can feel it when he's being nice because he doesn't have the spine to be true. And eventually, whether she consciously says it or not, something ancient within her looks at him and says, I can't trust this man with chaos, with my chaos. And that is the wound. That is the humiliation. And that is the moment when many men either wake up or turn bitter. And bitterness in a man is ultimately failed initiation. Bitterness is what happens when a man fails to become stronger and instead builds a philosophy around his weakness. He says women are the problem. He says the world is unfair. He says modern society ruined everything. Feminism ruined everything. And yeah, modern society has done some real damage. But at a certain point, a man has to stop pointing at the ruins and begin the process of building the temple. Because nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to make you disciplined. Nobody's coming to make you dangerous. Nobody's coming to make you focused. Nobody's coming to make you stop chasing her. Nobody's coming to stop you touching your phone every time you feel empty. And nobody's coming to make you stop using pleasure as anesthesia. And this is why manhood has always required ordeal. Because without ordeal, the boy never meets his weakness. And if the boy never meets his own weakness, he never develops strength. Nietzsche understood this deeply. Man does not become powerful by avoiding suffering. He becomes powerful by giving that suffering meaning. Carl Jung also understood this. The parts of yourself that you refuse to face end up running your life from the unconscious. Marcus Aurelius also understood this. A man's life is not determined by what happens to him, but by the discipline of his response to it. And finally, Schopenhauer, who understood the trap that was underneath all of this, desire can enslave a man, especially when he mistakes craving for love. This is where men lose themselves time and time again. They call it love, but it's need. They call it devotion, but it's fear. They call it loyalty, but it's dependency. And they call it passion, but it's emotional addiction. And then they hand the woman the remote control for their entire internal state. She texts, they feel alive. She pulls away, and they collapse. She praises them, all of a sudden they become confident. She criticizes them, and they spiral. That's not love. That's a man without a center. And a man without a center will always be controlled by what he needs. That's what I'm doing here. That's why Better Man exists. Not to teach men to hate women. That's weak. Not to teach men to manipulate women. That's still dependence. Not to teach men how to perform masculinity on the internet. That's just theatre. The work here is much deeper. The work is to become the kind of man that cannot be pulled off his centre by a woman, by female approval, rejection, beauty, chaos, silence, sex, or emotional weather. That's manhood. Not dominance as a costume, not aggression as compensation, not stoicism as repression. Real manhood is containment. It's the ability to feel everything and still choose your own code. It's the ability to want her, but not chase. It's the ability to love her without abandoning yourself. It's the ability to desire pleasure and still choose discipline. It's the ability to feel fear but still act. That's what cultures used to test. Can the man act under pressure? Can he restrain himself when temptation is available? Can he hold the frame when emotion rises? Can he be useful when others panic? Can he provide without becoming a slave and resentful? Can he protect without becoming a tyrant? Can he love without becoming needy? That is the new standard, lads. And most men, probably most of you out there, have never even been asked to meet it. So here's the uncomfortable truth. If you feel weak right now, it's probably not because you're broken. It may be just because you have not been initiated. You've not been tested properly. You've not chosen an ordeal worthy of your potential. And you've not been given the knowledge and wisdom and support in those moments of ordeal. Because if you just reject the ordeal, you'll never get the initiation. You must understand and use the pain of the ordeal in order to become a man. Because you have not been through this yet, your energy is basically leaking everywhere. Into women, into porn, into your phone, into a fantasy, into resentment, into chaos, into excuses, into talking about the kind of man you're going to become without becoming him. And deep down, I know that you know what I'm saying is true. Men know when they're lying to themselves. We all do. We know when we're bullshitting. They know when they're over-explaining to a woman because they're afraid they're going to lose access. They know when they're calling it communication, but really it's begging. They know when they're being agreeable just because they don't want conflict. They know when they're avoiding the gym, avoiding the work, avoiding the call, avoiding the silence, avoiding the truth. And the soul keeps score. That's why you're feeling anxious. That's why you feel restless, bored. That's why you can't sit in a room alone without stimulation. Because somewhere deep down, ancestrally, some part of you knows that you were built for more than just comfort. You were built for weight, built for responsibility. You were built for conquest of yourself, not conquest of women. The self, that is your arena. A man that cannot conquer himself will always try to conquer a woman. And that is why he loses. Because the woman becomes the battlefield where he avoids facing himself. He tries to win her, control her, convince her, fix her, teach her, punish her. But underneath it all, he's not mastered his own need. And until a man masters his need, he is not free. Simple as that. So stop asking yourself, how do I get her back? Ask yourself, what part of me needed her so much that I disappeared? Stop asking, how do I make her respect me? And ask yourself, where did I stop respecting myself? Stop asking, how do I become more attractive? Ask yourself, what burden am I avoiding that would make me undeniable? That's where manhood begins. Not in blaming women, not in worshipping women, not performing for the other men, but in the moment when you stop running from the burden of becoming yourself. Manhood is not a feeling. It's not an identity. It's not a podcast aesthetic. It's not a movement. It's not a beard, a cigar, a watch, a jawline, a gym, a selfie, or a quote from Marcus Aurelius. Manhood is earned through repeated acts of self-overcoming. You become a man every time you tell the truth when lying would have been easier. Every time you train when comfort was available. Every time you withdraw from what weakens you. Every time you hold your frame without needing to punish anyone. Every time you choose purpose over pleasure. Every time you let a woman be disappointed without rushing to repair her mood. Every time you stop negotiating with the part of you that still wants to remain the boy. That is the making of manhood. It's made the moment a man stops asking the world to initiate him, and instead he chooses the ordeal himself. Gonna leave it there for today, lads. Comment down below your experiences with this.
All right.
Comment down below if you're committed.
All right. Yeah, man, I had to play every bit of that. Right? I did. I had to play every bit of that. That was one of the most informative videos in the Manosphere. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, that done came in a while. I know it's a blessing I done came across this guy's channel, man. And I know the Most High do that intentionally. If you pay attention to him, he kept talking about the initiation, right? That's the rites of passage, right? You gotta sacrifice, right? You have to look at yourself as an altar, right? You up on the altar. You gotta make yourself a living sacrifice, man, right? That is the initiation to manhood, right? Now we gonna get into the lesson, man. We gonna get into the lesson. Man, that checked me on so many levels, bro, because I don't know, man, like since I ain't been smoking no cigarettes, bro, it's like I got open time, and it's more things that I'm thinking about, you know what I'm saying? My mind ain't cluttered, with the weed or none of that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I got more time to just really focus on things that I need to do to elevate. Body Game is one. The works of Uncle Ron Willis been coming back in my algorithm, right? Body Game, right? But the respect of self, mainly, right? Because Body Game is all really still the respect of self, right? It's still discipline of self, right? But it's the sacrifice that you got to put in, right? You going to hit that gym, you doing them push-ups, you walking around in the park, that's that sacrifice that many men ain't putting in, right? Let's get it, man. Let's get the lesson. Right, the sacrifice lesson, right? Let's get it. No crown without an altar, right? And I guess all my other lessons, before I get into it, all my previous lessons, I guess they have led up to this point right here, the sacrifice, right? Letting go, everything just leading up straight to the sacrifice, is necessary, right? Let's get it. No crown without an altar, right? Romans 12:1, right? I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy, which is separate, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Look what Paul just said. Paul say that basically you are commanded to do this, right? The Most High God is looking at you to see, are you going to reach manhood? Right? Are you going to, put yourself in a holy position and reach manhood? Are you going to separate yourself from all the other men? Right? The weaklings. Right? The men who aren't disciplined. The men who aren't working out. The men who aren't trying to be stoic, okay? The men who are chasing pussy, right? Are you going to separate yourself? Are you going to become holy, right? Because that's all the word holy means separate. You're going to separate yourself from them dudes and become a god, right? Because ye are gods, right? You are a god. You do have the potential to be a god, right? But are you willing to sacrifice? Right, let's get it. Everything in the kingdom is built on this principle, right? Everything in the kingdom is built on this principle. You're not going to get anything from God unless you give up something. Before glory, there is sacrifice. Before promotion, there is an altar. Who is the altar? You are, right? That's what Paul just let us know. You the altar. Let's get the biblical prototypes of sacrifice. These are the patterns God repeats throughout Scripture, right? It's a repeating factor. No matter from the beginning of Genesis all the way to the end. It's a repeating factor. Sacrifice. Let's get it. Abel. The sacrifice of righteous offering, right? Genesis 4:4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, right? Why? Because Abel didn't bring the leftovers. He brought the first. Right? That shows the respect. Right? He had respect for the Most High God. Prototype meaning Abel didn't give leftovers, right? He didn't give no leftovers like Cain did. He gave first and best, right? That's what the Most High God looking for. He feel like he's worthy to get your first and best. His sacrifice cost him life level obedience, right? That's what his sacrifice cost him. Right? It cost him his life because his brother got jealous of him and put him to death. Right? But believe me, Abel died righteously. Right? He died in a righteous king mind frame. Okay? And he came back through the reincarnation process as Abel. I'm sorry, as self. Let's get the prophetic pattern. True elevation begins when God gets your best, not your convenience. There you go. Right? There you go. I'm going to say it again. True elevation begins with God gets your best, not your convenience. Yeah, if you smoking weed, right, and I'm telling you, hey, it's something you need to sacrifice. God ain't talking about, you reading more. You reading more scriptures out the Bible. Right? You smoking cigarettes, right? You destroying the temple, right? God ain't looking at God. I helped that brother out last week on the corner. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but that ain't the sacrifice God looking for. He want the best sacrifice, right? He want the best sacrifice. Let's get it. Noah, right? The sacrifice after survival, right? Genesis 8:20. And Noah builded, right, an altar unto the Lord and offered burnt offerings. Prototype meaning first act after survival was worship. He sacrificed in a new world with no guarantee. Prophetic pattern. After storms, God tests whether you remember him or relax without him. Come on. Come on. A lot of us, we got nigga mind frame. God put us in certain situations, we give up certain things. Next thing you know, when we get them blessings that from God, next thing you know, we get relaxed. So the sacrifices we made, they were in vain. Nigga mind frame. Right? Let's get the next one. Abraham, the sacrifice of what you love most, right? Yeah, that goes back to my previous point, right? Most High he want the best. The best is he wants you to give up what you feel within yourself is a struggle for you to give up. It will be the hardest thing for you to give up. That's what he looking for. That's what he looking for. Right? I got motherfuckers right now saying, man, I could put that weed down today. We'll do it then. I could put that nicotine down today. We'll do it then. I ain't got to vape today. We'll do it then. I ain't got to eat. I can only eat one time today. We'll do it then. I don't got to eat no junk food. We'll do it then. Right? Some motherfuckers just be talking. But they have addictions. They are addicted. Right? I ain't gotta go watch no porn today. We'll do it then. I ain't gotta get on social media today. We'll do it then. If you can't do it, 9 out of 10, guess what? Your flesh love it. Your flesh love it. If you trying to decide in your mind and you trying to figure out a perfect day and a perfect time to do it, guess what? Your flesh love it. Yeah, God looking for that sacrifice out you. Come here. Come here. Genesis 22:2. Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, and offer him there for a burnt offering. Yeah, man, come on. God telling Abraham, yeah, see your firstborn? Isaac? Yeah, I want you to go ahead and put him to death for me. How many of y'all would have did that? How many of you guys out there would have did that? How many of you guys would have offered up your firstborn? Right? Prototype meaning God tested attachment, not just obedience. Yeah, what you attached to. That's what God looking at. He don't give a fuck about what you feel you can do. He looking at what the fuck is your flesh attached to. The fuck you wake up in the morning time and you reaching for. Right? Can you let that motherfucker go? And if I'm requiring for you to let it go, if I'm fucking up your life and showing you this is the reason why, and you steady putting it to the side, Nana, it's something else, it's something else, it's something else. But all right, I got you. Bet. He gonna corner you off. Isaac represented Abraham's future. Right? Prophetic pattern, right? God will test your destiny by asking for what you cannot emotionally release. Say that one more time. God will test your destiny by asking for what you cannot emotionally release. Right? Some of us are emotionally attached devices. Regardless if it's nicotine, pills, marijuana, coke, crack, right? Our phones, food, junk food. Right? We are emotionally attached. But we want blessings. Right? We want blessings though. You got to give up something to get something from God. Let's get the next one. Isaac, the sacrifice of submission, right? Genesis 22:9, and they came to the place and Abraham built an altar there, right? Prototype meaning Isaac didn't resist. He became the willing sacrifice, right? Prophetic pattern. Some elevations require surrendering control of your own story. Yeah. So you steady trying to write this motherfucker out yourself. Forgetting the fact that there is an author over your life. Right? Sometimes you just got to fall back and let life do what life do. Maintain your discipline through the process. Maintain your integrity through the process. And let life do what life does. Right? Let's get the next one. Moses, the sacrifice of identity. Hebrews 11:24-25. By faith, Moses refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction. Prototype meaning he gave up royalty for purpose. He chose wilderness over comfort. Yeah, you know, that's that boy going into manhood. See, Moses was leaving the boy life and stepping into manhood. Right? Prophetic pattern. God will require you to lose status before he gives assignment. Yes. Right? Some of you guys left home, moved to another city, moved to another state. Right? Didn't understand why you was doing it. You was entering into the initiation of your rites of passage. Long as you was at home, just like Abraham, right? You was gonna always lean on mama, daddy, right? Big bro, big sis, big cuz. You were gonna always lean on the immediate family. Get away from them. That's what God was saying. Get away from them. I need you to lean on me. I need you to become one with me, right? There's a difference between people who have stayed at home with their family and those who have ventured off. Two different mind frames, two different attitudes. Right? There's a level of discipline that comes with that. It's a level of leaning on God that comes with that. That one don't understand because they don't have to really lean on God like that because they got family. Right? Sometimes God will remove mama and daddy, right? Just to take them off the earth, period. Just so you can get initiated into your rites of passage. Right? You're not dodging this process. And if you try to dodge it, then hey, you suffer the consequences. Job, right? The sacrifice of understanding. Job 13 and 15. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. Prototype meaning. Lost everything without explanation. Sacrifice the need to understand God fully, right? Prophetic pattern. Some sacrifices are not physical. They are mental surrender, right? Right? You done moved away. You done got into a new environment, right? Shit hard though. You don't know nobody. Shit hard though. Right? It's causing you to surrender your mind to the Most High God. Lean on Him. Depend on Him. Right? I got people right now, bro, that be like, man, you can come stay with me. Woo, woo, woo. I be like, I'm good. I appreciate that though. That's love, and I appreciate that. And if it ever come down to the point where I have to, I appreciate if you was to open your door for me. But just so far as me just taking it right now, nah. Why? Because I understand and know this is the preparation for what? Glory. All right? This is the rites of passage. It's part of my story. This is building up the mental fortitude, the mental discipline, right? The spiritual discipline, right? Let's get the next one, David. The sacrifice of repentance, Psalm 51 and 17, right? And I'm going to say this too. I done stayed with people, man. The Most High God got me out of there. Get out of there. Come on back to, come back to the wilderness. Get out of there. People just flip, all attitude just flip. Why? It ain't them, it wasn't them. It was the Most High God putting the spirit on them. Why? Because I needed to be in the wilderness. My life belonged to Him, not them. It was only for a time. Right? The wilderness is always needed to be forged in. Right? For you to be forged in. David, right? Psalm 51 and 17, the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. Man, I had one yesterday. I was broke. I was heartbroken. I was happy and heartbroken at the same time. Because now I'm having to face, where I'm at in my life. You understand me? And the time, right? That has been wasted. Right? And the love that was taken for granted. But sometimes, man, it's just a process. You have to go through it. Right? That's the spirit that the Most High God wants you in anyway. Right? He wants you in a broken, contrite spirit. Right? You're humble there. Prototype meaning not just worship but brokenness, right? He gave God His failure, not just His success, right? Right. Which means I'm not just going to God when things are good. No, I'm going to God when shit fucked up too. Right? Some of us even got it backwards. We'll go to God when shit fucked up. When shit good, we don't even holler at God. Prophetic pattern. God receives repentance as higher than ritual, right? Let's say it again. God receives repentance as higher than ritual, which means all that praying, you getting up every day, going to church, you doing all that shit is in vain if you're not giving up a motherfucking sacrifice. You still got bad habits. You still not disciplined in certain areas in your life. That shit is in vain. It's a ritual. You got to put the work in. Right? You know your ass overeating. You know you got a motherfucking marijuana problem. You know you got a motherfucking nicotine problem. You know you got a crack problem. You know you got a motherfucking fentanyl problem. You know you motherfucking addicted to Xannies. You know you addicted to lean. You know you chasing puss out here. You know you got a motherfucking problem. So the good that you doing, right, it's a ritual. Because you ain't trying to make no attempt to fix your problems. Right? Man, I feel like this lesson right here, man, I don't know what it is about this one right here. But this ain't just for y'all, this for me too. Because I'm going through it, man. I'm going through it. You know? And I had to lean back on man, yesterday, I had to lean back on one of my cold ones, the Heartless, right? I had to go listen to that lesson. Like, because these lessons are, I don't know, they come from my higher self. So I need them. Fuck. So if they doing y'all justice, cool, but they really for me. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the apocryphal witness, right? Second Temple insight, right? Sirach 35:1. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough, right? Obedience itself is sacrifice itself. Of course it is, right? You keeping that law to the best of your ability, right? That's it. Your temple, your body is the sacrifice. It's the altar. 2 Ezra 7:20. For there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of God. Simple. What the script say? The wages of sin is death, right? Ezra's just back doing it, right? For there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of God. They ain't trying to keep the law. They overlook it. They don't give a fuck about smoking. They don't give a fuck about what the smoke doing to their lungs, throat, the gums. Don't give a fuck about what the alcohol doing to their liver. Don't give a fuck about how much they eating. They don't give a fuck about none of that. What they eating. They don't care. Right? But God said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Let's get it. Meaning rejection of discipline equals spiritual death pattern. That's all it is. What it is, Chad? Rejection of discipline equals spiritual death pattern. Yup, you on your way of a decline. Fucking straight up decline. Right? You got a spirit of laziness, a spirit of procrastination upon you, a spirit of jealousy upon you. Right? Some things you gotta check, man. Right? Second Ezra 16:40. Oh, my people, hear my word and make you ready to that battle. That battle ain't just no physical battle. That battle is with yourself. When you going through the withdrawals because you can't put that chocolate in your mouth. You can't put that nicotine in your body. You can't put that motherfucking weed smoke in your body. Right? You can't put that coke in your body. That lean in your body. Them pills in your body. Right? You done backed off the social media for a day or two, right? The withdrawals that you going through, that's a battle. Preparation itself is sacrifice of comfort. Yeah, you sacrificing that comfort, right? Let's get it. The sacrifices of the Psalm 91 man. And I told Chad I wanted this because a lot of us are being transformed into the Psalm 91 man, right? This is the man under divine covering, right? Psalm 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, and the secret place is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and that's crazy. That's what I really was supposed to do a lesson on. But I guess the Lord wanted this right here. Like, yeah, I was thinking hard, like, boy, what was I supposed to be doing? And it just hit now. But I guess he wanted this right here, like, yeah, nah, that was for the future. This what I want today, right? But the secret place is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High, right? Shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Require sacrifices of the Psalm 91 man. Isolation sacrifice. Walking alone where others compromise. Yeah, when you, well, look, everybody else want to smoke weed that you were smoking with, you done stop. Shit, you ain't compromising no more. They gonna fall off. Right? They gonna fall off. And that's with everything. Right? Everything. Family gatherings come around, you know you on your diet. You ain't fucking with the pork and none of that shit no more. Everybody else still fucking with it. Yeah, guess what? You know, hey, they compromise. You ain't compromising though. You holding on to your discipline. And that go for every other vice. Fear sacrifice. This was another one that the Psalm 91 man have to sacrifice. Fear sacrifice. Giving up anxiety as a survival system. Yeah. Giving up anxiety as a survival system. Which means you looking for comfort. No, you internalize what's going on with you at that moment of time. And you deal with it. Control sacrifice, right? Trust in God when nothing is predictable, right? When you don't see no way, you trust in the Most High God enough to know He gonna provide a way for you. Immediate pleasure sacrifice, discipline over impulses, flesh training, right? Right. Which means depending on what, if I know I need to be working on me and building me, I don't give a fuck how fine this bitch is. I don't give a fuck how many compliments she give me. Bitch, I'm not fucking you. I'm staying true to SR right now. Prophetic reality, the secret place is not a location. It is a life that costs distractions. Hold up, say it again, chat. Say it for the motherfuckers in the back, chat. The secret place is not a location. Why? Because it's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And when you incorporate it in your life, what does it do, chat? It is a life that costs distractions, which means you killing every motherfucking distraction in your life. Bye-bye. Gotta go. Let's get the next one. The sacrifices of the Isaiah 4:1 man. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of 1 man, and I'm going to finish it off, saying we will eat our own bread, wear our own apparel, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Right? Why they coming to this man? Because there's a level of sacrifice that this man he's displaying. He got to uphold. Right? It's a level of integrity and discipline that he's holding in this crucial, perilous time. Require sacrifice, a symbolic prophetic interpretation, right? His ego sacrifice. Leadership without pride. Right? He's a leader to himself before he's a leader to anybody else. He's gonna do the most disciplined thing, the thing that shows the most integrity, regardless if anybody was there or not. He desired discipline, right? He desired discipline. Mastery over lust and emotional impulse. That's why these women are coming to him. They sense he's not trying to fuck on us, so they are willing to give him some pussy. Simple. And he's turning them down. They begging him, please give us a baby, please. And please. And he's like, He understand what time he living in. Some of them hoes try to rape him while he sleep. That's how a lot of them gonna get pregnant. This is coming. Responsibility burden. Carrying provision, protection, and order, right? He understand that. So he moves like a king on a chessboard. One space at a time. Patient. Isolation pressure, standing as a refined remnant man in a collapsing moral system, right? Prophetic reality, right? This is not about fantasy. It represents a man refined under pressure, stability, and responsibility while others collapse. Why? Because they wasn't putting the fucking work in. The niggas didn't have no discipline. They didn't have no integrity. They were savages. Right? They put their trust in their guns. They put their trust in their bitches. They put their trust in their dick. They put their trust in their motherfucking money. Right? Now society in a collapse. None of those things hold up. But the man that put his trust in Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, right? And built upon his discipline and integrity and wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, this is the man that is long lasting in his time. Right? Let's get my testimony, right? The refining process, right? From what you have walked through, right? Chat talking to me, fighting cravings and quitting smoking, right? And man, my cravings, man, I ain't gonna lie, my first 3 days, man, that bitch was hidden, right? I am shocked I have made it to 14 days. I have been a nicotine addict since I was 16. I have been smoking cigarettes and tobacco products since I was 16, non-stop, right? So it was a lot that was going on physically with my body. As I got around like the fourth day, yeah, it got rough. Fifth day, it kind of subsided. This week here, it's really been just subtle. Really not too many cravings. One thing I have noticed is I wake up every fucking morning at 7 o'clock on the dot. It's like my body has went back before I started smoking cigarettes. So if I started smoking cigarettes at 16, that means I was a teenager, right? So at that time, I was getting up every day at 7 o'clock in the morning. So my body, I guess, has reverted back to like, okay, we're back in school again. Right? So it's like that right there is like, I don't give a fuck. I can go to sleep at 2 o'clock, I'm up. And it might have something to do with the semen retention streak that I'm currently on also, right? Extra amount of energy, right? I'm holding my body weight now. I'm getting bigger. I'm holding my body weight because what smoking does, smoking deprives the body of oxygen and it constricts the blood flow, which means you don't have enough blood flow to go throughout the body, right? So you're depleted, right? You're depleted and you're dehydrated, right? Smoking is a main cause behind ED, erectile dysfunction, right? A lot of you guys out there, my young niggas, even my OGs out there, right? You smoking that weed, and you wondering why your shit not getting hard as it's supposed to, or you smoking crack, or you smoking nicotine, and you wondering why your shit ain't getting hard like that, nigga, because you smoking, right? Your dick it relies on blood to raise up. If your blood vessels are shrinking, right? Because that's what smoke does. It shrinks the blood vessels. If your blood vessels are shrinking, guess what? There's not enough blood rushing to your dick, right? And that's another thing I have noticed since I have stopped smoking. Morning wood, right? I thought, when I read that shit on Reddit, I thought it was some bullshit. No. A lot of you guys think that shit just gone. No, it ain't. You smoke. Just putting y'all on game out there. Right? Battling stress in the survival mode. Called living financial pressure. Yeah. One thing I have noticed too, I don't know, man, it's like I grind harder since I've stopped smoking cigarettes. I grind harder. Like I make money, like for real. Stable money. I got money to do the things I need to do. Like I don't feel that tense. I don't know why. I don't know what done changed, but it's just I don't. Be honest, I'm starting to really look at it like, damn, smoking maybe was demonic. Only thing I do need to do, I need to clean my car. I do need to do that, but that's part of that process, right? Working through physical strain, health concerns, and discipline. Right? Physical strain, that's me working my ass off in the gym. Walking around the park like a madman. Right? Establishing that discipline. Worrying about my health. Right? Because the first couple of days, man, you know, my lungs just felt like them bitches was on fire at first. Trying to stay grounded while rebuilding structure in life, right? Prophetic interpretation. You've been in a wilderness sacrifice cycle. That's what Chad is telling me. I'm in a wilderness sacrifice cycle, and I am. Not punishment, but formation, right? I am being formed. I am being transformed. Like Moses in Midian, right? David in the caves, and Elijah in isolation, right? And I totally feel like them fellas. Right? I'm really excited to see what does the future hold for me. But I know it's work that has to be put in. Right? Let's get the final prophetic scenario. A man of refinement looks like this. No comfort to rely on, no emotional safety nets. God becomes the only stable system. Everything unnecessary gets stripped away. And in that place, Malachi 3:3, and he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. The fire doesn't destroy him. It removes what cannot go into the next season. Man, beautiful. Beautiful. Say it again. The fire does not destroy him. It removes what cannot go into the next season. Final word, right? Sacrifice is not lost in the kingdom. It is currency for transformation. Abel sacrificed worship. Abraham sacrificed detachment. Moses sacrificed identity. David sacrificed pride. Christ became the final sacrifice. And now the pattern continues. Living sacrifice equals living power. Once again, man, like the brother Paul saying in Romans, you are the living sacrifice. Your body is a living sacrifice. Right? Every day you wake up, you are the altar. What are you willing to give up today? What are you willing to do today that you didn't do yesterday? What are you willing to get better at today that you've kind of failed at yesterday? You are the sacrifice. The Most High God is looking at you. He wants your best. Not your leftovers, but your best. Don't be like the rest of these people out here and just move. Just move. You want to have conscious thought behind your movement, right? And on that note, I hope you all have learned something. And until I see you guys again in the portal, I ask that the Most High Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, keep you guys covered and blessed out there. And until next time, we meet in the portal. You understand me? I'm out.